Call to order this October 14th, 2025 council meeting two of the Selma Town Council here at the Jernigan Building. I think we're right past 6 p.m. With that, as always, we have a couple of special guests with us today to join us to start our meeting off. We always like to do an invocation, of course, and we have a very special guest here with us today. Dr. Kelton, come on up to the microphone here. Dr. Kelton is a stable around Southern North Carolina. Serves as the Associate Social Missions Strategist for the Triangle East Baptist Association here at Southern North Carolina, where he has been a dedicated leader since 1998. With a passion for mentoring, missions, and church development, he works to strengthen local congregations and expand their community impact. His servant leadership and heart for missions continue to inspire and equip churches across the region. Anything else you'd like to say?
I would like to say that I think almost a third of the town speak Spanish and are Hispanic origin. So it'd be cool to see that represented in a gathering like this in the future at some point.
Cool. An invitation for us, sir?
Sure.
Yes, yes. Is everybody please sing?
Father God, thank you so much for this evening that we can come together as a town, as a community, to discuss the future plans, ideas, dreams, and goals. I pray, Lord, that in all the deliberations that take place tonight, the conversations, the ideas that are shared, the points of view, that people in this room will be able to show mutual respect to one another, listen carefully to what each other is saying, look for truth, look for the best in one another. Pray, Lord, that you would help the general tenor of the meeting to go smoothly and to be positive and uplifting. We do pray, Lord, especially more than anything, we pray for wisdom. We pray for your guidance to be upon us all as we do look together towards the future and how to make Selma the very best town that it can be with your help. So give us that wisdom. We need it. We seek it. And help us to be open to your wisdom as you share it with us. And we pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we have another special guest with us here today. I don't pronounce this right. Right? Yanidi? Yanadi Nicole Dina. Absolute pleasure. She is a student at Selma Middle School and is currently in the 8th grade. She has played volleyball since 6th grade and is an active member of the AVID program. She likes listening to music. Her favorite color is blue. And she loves her family. Fantastic. Would you like to say anything? Hey, we can get started. Please place a flag and follow your lead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. That brings us into taking a look at our agenda for today. I think I do know of some minor adjustments from staff that need to be made. If you'll go ahead and take those away. Yes, sir. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. So mayor's report will have a proclamation, and then we'll just have a date check, a little technical change on the agenda for that hearing. All right, council, do we have any other additions, subtractions that we see that we might want to make to this agenda? With that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We've got ourselves an agenda, and that brings us into consent. We've got a request for a public hearing related to Chapter 17, Article 5. We've got a request for a public hearing, another piece of Chapter 17, Article 5. Public hearing, Chapter 17, Article 11. And Chapter 17, Article 6. These are just requests for public hearings, not actual public hearings. So this is just us setting the date. Will that be our next month's second council meeting? Meeting 2? Yes, sir. November 11th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda good to go?
Excuse me, November 11th. Thank you.
Open forum citizens request. We've got a few signed up for open forum citizens requests. First, I believe we have James Strickland. James Strickland, come on up. If you would state your name again and address for the record.
Okay, James Strickland, 402 River Road in Salmon, North Carolina. I'm concerned about the water bill, especially my mother, she owns fishing camp. I wonder how you get, how much which been used, you know, the light, power and water, but nobody don't go by and check it, nothing like that. And the last light bill we have paid for last month, for paid this month, is $320. It never have been that high since y'all took office. And I don't know. I want to find out how y'all do it, you know, without people go around checking it no more.
Well, short answer to that question is that they are all radio read meters now. So they do send a radio signal that gives the information to our computer systems, and then the billing is processed from there. But beyond that, if you are concerned about the usage and possibly being charged for too much usage, you can track your usage on the actual meters as well. So you can look at the meter and see what it's reading from week to week, month to month. We can also, if you want to come by customer service, help you take a look, quite frankly, at your daily usage. Now, I'll actually circle back and address rates, utility rates all told here at the end of the meeting. That's actually part of the conversation that I'll be having this evening. They are going up, quite frankly, for everybody. And so we will certainly address that piece. But if you do have concerns about what is being read on your meters or what you're being charged for, you can certainly talk to customer service, talk to staff to kind of go through with you your bill, and you can actually look at the meter readings yourself.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's why I want to find out how I can do it, you know, look at it. Because it's never been that so high.
I understand.
And I want to, you know, like I say, I want to find out before I file a complaint with North Carolina Department, you know, in Raleigh and Washington, Utility Commissioner.
I imagine there's a lot of people across the country that want to file complaints these days, and I understand. But with that being said, I'll actually circle back to you directly and give you the information on who you can contact, maybe even set up a meeting to kind of go step by step through the billing, and we'll show you how to look at your meter as well, okay?
All right. Another part about this trash can deal.
We've got about another minute, so
All right.
trash can deal.
Yeah, about the, you know, the lids some a little bit. But people getting citation about it, stuff like that, it's uncalled for. Because never had a problem till y'all took office. And a lot of people complained about it, stuff like that. Because a while back, I put a couple steels, scrap steel.
Mr.
I
Silver,
know.
I gotta stop you there, but I'll just say very briefly, we do enjoy cleanliness in the town of Selma. And we'll discuss further even when we meet sanitation rules as well and why they're in place. Thank you for your time today, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's see, we've got a Mr. Dave Bartone. Dave Bartone, are you with the? You're good to go. And then, Mr. Patel, you're here with the, you're good to go. And then we've got Ms. Cheryl Oliver. Come on up, name and address for the record.
Good evening. Cheryl Oliver, 102 South Massey Street, Selma, North Carolina. At our last town council meeting, I requested that monthly financial reports be provided to the public during council meetings. Later in the meeting, our town manager mentioned that she was in the process of creating quarterly financial reports. Byron responded that we're ahead of the game. That is simply not true. We've gone years without quarterly or monthly financial reports being regularly shared with the public. The last date ongoing financial reporting was included in a regular town council meeting was June 13th, 2023. 2023. This coincides with the time frame in which CFO Rhonda Summer ended employment with the town of Selma. Now, instead of providing timely financial data, all that has been said is that council members have online access to the town's financials and can look at them anytime they want. The quarterly report is a step in the right direction, but it is not sufficient for council members to effectively govern the town's finances. The cost of many projects and endeavors are spread across numerous sections of the finances. It is important for a town manager or finance director to pull the pieces together in order for council members and the public to gain accurate insights into the health of Selma's finances. Council members need to be publicly engaged with the town manager or finance director to review, question, and discuss this information more than 4 times a year. Add to this lack of public reporting and discussion of financial data facts such as these. We currently do not have a full-time finance director. At that time, the duty has been assigned to our HR director. At times, she has actually worn 3 hats: HR, finance, and deputy town manager. With discussion of some agenda items occurring in conversations with Byron prior to council meetings rather than in council meetings, details of town ventures are often lacking. Where are the voices of the individual council members? How is the public expected to know the facts and rationale behind the votes that are cast? How does the public know that their views are being thought of and considered? Our last audit identified weaknesses in accurate financial management. We had to pay the auditors additional
Ms. Oliver,
dollars
we are running over time.
to make 3 more sentences. We had to pay the auditors additional dollars to make corrections because of extra time they incurred. Once again, I'm requesting that monthly financial reports be presented in a manner that is clear and concise so that council and citizens alike have a basic understanding of Selma's financial conditions. We can do better. I hope our council members, citizens, business owners, and others will join me in speaking out and ensuring that we do so.
Thank you, Ms. Oliver. I'll address those comments at the end here as well. Appreciate the input. Got a little bit of time to burn. Do we have anybody else for open forum citizens requests? Mr. Perry Champion, come on up, name and address for the record.
Perry Champion, 518 West Elizabeth Street, Selma, North Carolina. My thoughts are twofold, okay? Y'all have recently started cracking down on the codes. I understand that. A little warning would have been nice. So that we wouldn't wind up getting in trouble and getting fined. I do think, $25 fine is fine. $150 administrative fee, that's not fine. Now, with that being said, if you're gonna crack down on that, gotta understand, y'all need to step up and do what y'all supposed to do. I was one of, if not the first person, residents that had solar power in the city. Had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it, but I got approved for it and I've been having it since 23.
I'm sorry, what is it you have?
Solar power.
Solar power, okay.
The solar panels on my house. Okay. Yet that have been receiving any compensation, any credit for the energy that I'm producing. I'm still paying full price on my electricity. Now, I'm able to monitor how much electricity that I'm using, and I've produced about 12 megawatts since their installment. To be more precise, 11.94 megawatts. Now that's about a third, or right at 30%. 30% is the exact number of power usage versus power produced. When am I going to get reimbursed for that?
Well, I can't say that we can necessarily speak to your solar setup. I'm not sure that, do we have any information related to that whatsoever on hand?
You had 2 years.
So what we'll do is we'll have staff sit down with you and go over exactly what has been done, what you do have, and what we have in place. And then we'll circle back and try to see what we can.
Well, I've got some figures on as far as money wise too.
That is fantastic, and staff will sit
I
down
don't
and
know,
look
the
over
only
those.
problem with my figures is I do not know about peak hours.
Okay.
And the difference in what times they start, when they stop, and the production during that time period.
So we'll have staff take a close look at the system setup, see what we have as far as our fee schedule is concerned, and we'll go from there.
Well, like,
Mr.
y'all
Champion.
don't wait for the
Mr. Champion,
fines.
We're gonna have to go on it. It's definitely past 3 minutes, but we'll
Okay.
definitely have staff look at it, okay?
All right,
Thank you very much.
30 days.
Moving right along. All right. So we're moving on from open forum citizens request. That brings us into discussions, presentations. We're looking at the 2025 Railroad Days Expense Report.
Good
Second.
evening, Mayor and Council. Before you see the requested Railroad Days expense report. Total expense, we're looking at $130,252.43. We had a sponsorship of $66,050, which left us with a net of $64,202.43 for Railroad Days.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Can you talk about the annual expense sponsors? Am I reading that wrong, that 59,300 was given by these sponsors for events that take place throughout the year?
So our annual event, they came as Railroad Days, but the way our sponsorship is set up, depending on the amount, you get advertising more than just Railroad Days. So the more you would give to Railroad Days, we will advertise you in more than just Railroad Days, so you become an annual event sponsor. But what drew them and their goal was to be advertised at Railroad Days, which is our biggest event.
Okay. So the 59,000 really didn't go all toward Railroad Days as far as,
It did, because it was a budgeted revenue of Railroad Day sponsorship, so all of those would go there in that line item.
Any other questions?
just a
Railroad
couple-
Days was awesome.
I noticed there weren't any overtime or salaries paid to the extra help. Was that part of the budget as well?
No, that is budgeted in our salaries and wages for each department, not as part of our Railroad Day salary. So in our calculations, even for the requested amount, that was not asked for the production of the festival itself.
Okay, so it really doesn't give us a clear picture of how much Railroad Days cost us, though, if it's not in our report.
From my understanding, even given history last year, that was not included in the Railroad Days budget. When it comes to salaries and wages, it was taken out of each department.
I'd really like to see a clear picture of actually how much it cost us to put it on, you know, including those things. So we get a real clear picture of what we budgeted for and our expenses. The only way to really know how we came out on it, you know, in my opinion. Just be a more transparent view of it. Little late for it now, though, I guess.
Requesting
I mean, yeah, at some
Payroll
point, it would be nice to have that, just so we'd know for future planning what it costs us to put it on totally, you know, with, our extra help and overtime, as well as the expenses from the town. I know I just had a real concern about the money that we had spent for entertainment. I noticed, I think it was, 44,000 that we spent on music. And I just kind of, I don't know, worried about that when we did it, because I didn't think it would be very well attended. And I understand that it wasn't that many people there, weren't that many people there. So I'm just concerned about it for future. We need to pay attention to our tax dollars, where they're going. It's a lot of money.
I disagree. It was actually really well attended, particularly I'm surprised at Confederate Railroad and the Thames. Those were.
Yeah, when you're talking about $44,000, even if you have 1,000 people go, that's $44 a head. That's a lot for entertaining people. I mean, just my opinion.
Staff, I think you did a great job on Railroad.
Oh, I think they
Days.
did a great job. I'm not saying that at all.
So with the, fun time amusements, but we get them right at $48,000. I know back in the times when we were having carnivals before here, they had to pay us to come in. Did they pay us anything this time?
They don't pay us, they knock down the price. So they will contract for a certain amount, and every ticket or wristband that is bought will come off the total that you'll have to end up owing. So we were able to knock it down about $12,000 from what we originally contracted for based on the activity the carnival received. So
Well, did
that was
it-
what we actually had to pay out at the end.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Did they give you a total how much they made?
How much they made? No. Because we do not get any benefit from food and drinks, so they wouldn't give us that
I'm not talking
information.
about sales of tickets and stuff.
They give us a total of what we, yes, that $12,000 is what they made that they were able to knock off from ticket sales.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very cool event. So, going forward, the question is, I guess, for everybody to consider is, how big do we want to keep Railroad Days? Do we want to do it as big as the 50th? Do we want to dial it back to a smaller event? But that needs to be a conversation we have as a community going forward. I think, what were the Pacer ad numbers initially for cell phone pings? Was it 12,700? So in the area during Railroad Days, about 12,700 cell phone pings, which then gives you an idea of how many actual people were in the area for that event. And of course, that is just the people holding cell phones. So a guy like me walking around with 4 kids as well, you've got to consider the extra folks that come in with that also. The idea is, do we continue regularly doing a large community event that brings attention to the town of Selma and brings people to the town of Selma that normally would not be in the town of Selma. Town of Selma is a population of 7,000 people. In an area over the course of a weekend, we had 12,700 people. Oh, I'm sorry, not people, cell phones that we know of. And no telling how many people have come along with that. So things to consider as we're going forward after the 50th Railroad Day celebration. Any
So
other questions?
I'll go back to my question again. So Jim Art, he produced 3 stages.
Yes.
To my opinion, we overpaid him because the quality that we got was terrible with the gospel.
I don't know if it's wise to
Well, it's my
talk about
choice.
our
It's my choice. It's my choice.
contractors
It's my choice.
in the middle of
It's my
a
choice.
meeting.
It's my choice.
I do think it's, everybody put in a lot of excellent work for this festival, and I think we got a really cool result from it. A lot of people flowing through the streets.
So that's his comment. So my comment was I was not happy with the performance by the sound tech.
Do we have any other questions?
It was way too long. It was spread out too far to run for 7 days. 3 days have been plenty to get over. What's the difference between 50 years and 49 or 51 years? That's what I say.
Have any other questions? Thank you for the report. Next up, I worked sign request procedure update.
From last meeting, where it was asked about signage and how do we move forward. So we have engaged with iWorks, which is a software company, not just for signage, but also for our work order system for public works and in general. This will allow us within 2 to 3 months to have a detailed inventory of our signs throughout town, to give us a better understanding when people come and request for a stop sign or a yield sign or a children at play sign, how many we actually have throughout the town. And also can give us an idea of cost as well. These are not cheap signs, they're kind of expensive and you have to order them at bulk. And so it'll be something we can consider in whole with these requests, do accurate research and respond back before giving approval for signs.
Very cool. All right. Is that something that incurs any extra cost, or is that?
So it actually is saving us money. I have to give credit to, George Shook is here, my public utilities. He's not here this evening, but he actually found and engaged iWorks, and found a better product for a cheaper price when it comes to our work order system. And so, he owes all the kudos to that.
Very cool. Thanks for the update. Do we have any questions related to the sign request? All right. Purple warning flags.
So there has been a lot of discussion about code enforcement, and as we begin that conversation, as I've come in, I noticed that there's purple flags sometimes that are in individuals' yards, and we've had questions about those. My recommendation has been, if we're going to use those purple flags, let's use them as warnings for our citizens, and efficiently. So my recommendation was to put our logo and let them know that this is improper, please move this, and give them an opportunity to comply prior to us sending out a fine or a letter. I think it would be efficient for us and our citizens. It saves us money and our workers money to have to go and abate the bulk items, and it gives our citizens an opportunity to know that it's improper and to remove it in time. So that is my ask for council and my recommendation if you so approve.
Rock and roll.
How long is the warning day?
I'm sorry?
How long is the warning? 3 days, 1 day, 2 days?
Internally, we would set that amount. I'll be happy to share that with council.
So you need us just approval to go forward first, and then
Yes.
we'll work out the details.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very good. Any other questions about that? Well, do I have a motion to approve this framework for a flag placement plan for bulk pickup?
So moved.
Give that second to Councilwoman Amy West Whitley. Any discussion?
I'd like to see the full details before we vote on it.
Well, we're giving her, town manager authority to move forward with planning. If we just say, no, we don't want it, then they're not gonna waste their time planning. So, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Nay.
One nay, don't wanna go forward with the flag plan, but let's roll with the flag plan. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, do we expect to have a deeper conversation about that at our next meeting, or do we need a little more time?
Next meeting is fine.
Next, well, I'm sorry, November meeting,
Yes.
November meeting, okay, very good. Public hearing and appeals, Mr. Graham. And what we'll do before you even get rolling, just to make life easy for all of us, we'll open up a public hearing. So do I have a motion to open a public hearing related to 2025-018 RZ map amendment related to 1749 Outlet Center Drive?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Got ourselves a public hearing open.
Greetings. I have a town council request for a conditional zoning district from IB to a planned unit development residential PUD R with uses and standards that comply with a transitional residential TR zone. The applicant, TWG Development LLC, is here with us. The property address is 1749 Outlet Center Drive. The property owners are Sylvia and Loretta Wall. This site is 11.75 acres. The applicant is requesting some modifications and deviations based on the allowable for planned unit developments, and this includes waiving the special use permit and the distance, 500 linear feet distance from other multifamily developments since it is located near the retreat. I have a lot in this report, so if you have any questions, let me know. Staff find that this conditional zoning application is generally consistent with the UDO and land use plan, and through the TRC review, it was determined that the project is feasible, but staff overall opposed the project. I asked the council to consider the following motions: motion to accept all testimony and evidence into record, and motion to approve or deny. I also have the applicants here that will do a presentation and answer other questions that you may have in specific to this planned development of 110 units that will be under this conditional use for that property. And so I ask my staff report and supporting documents be entered into evidence as testimony, and I'll allow them to present.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor McAllister, members of council. My name is Ashley Honeycutt Terrazas. I'm with Parker Poe, 301 Fayetteville Street in Raleigh. I've been advised by Mr. McDaniel to keep this as brief as possible, so I'm going to run through this presentation to give you all some more information about this request, and then we're obviously here to answer questions. As I mentioned, I'm with Parker Poe. My practice focuses on land use and entitlements. You may remember some of my colleagues from when the Eastfield Crossing project was agreed in the agreements that came with that several years ago. And I've been working with the applicant for this project on a beautiful and affordable multifamily project just across I-95 for many coming businesses and jobs in Eastfield Crossing, such as the Crystal Window and Door and all of the commercial development that is currently being developed there at Eastfield. So I'm going to walk through the rezoning request, and then Alex from TWG Development will introduce himself and give an overview of his vision for this project and why TWG has chosen to make this proposed large investment in Selma. And then we also have with us Josh Scanlon from Gateway Engineers, who you may be familiar with. Their office is right down the street. And it's the same engineering design firm that's helped with Eastfield. He's here to answer questions as well. So this is the property, 1749 Outlet Center Drive. As Taylor mentioned, it's 11.75 undeveloped acres there at exit 97 on I-95 in Selma. It's in Selma's extraterritorial jurisdiction, which means it has Selma zoning, but it's not in the corporate limits yet. We would annex before we have site plan approval. And it's right next to the newly built retreat at Selma Apartments, which you can see here on this map. This is Google Maps, so it's a little bit more updated. It's currently zoned interstate business, which is the same zoning district as the commercial businesses on the Highway 70 frontage and the 3 hotels that are adjacent to the property. But residential uses are not currently permitted on the property, and so in coordination with your staff, we've requested a planned unit development, residential zoning for the property. I don't believe there are any other planned unit developments in Selma at this time, so this would be the first. It's a type of flexible conditional zoning district that many municipalities across the state have in their zoning ordinances. You do as well. And it requires more details about the eventual use and development of the property at the zoning stage, but in exchange, it allows the applicant to request modifications to the UDO requirements and propose slightly more residential density than that TR, the transitional residential district, which is the only district in the code that allows apartments at this time. So this is, and the TR district is our base district for this PUD, the PUD. So we've, as required by the code, we have submitted what the UDO calls a PUD land use plan, which is with the rezoning request, and it's a preliminary site design for the use of the property. It's up on your screen and it's in your agenda packet, that preliminary plan that we've submitted. But we're planning up to 117 units. The plan, I believe, has 110 right now. 5 3-story buildings. The TR uses and design standards. The UDO has many strict design requirements for PUDs and for apartments, including parking amounts and location, open space requirements, building placement, architectural design, building size, list goes on. And we are requesting, as Taylor mentioned, only 2 deviations from the UDO requirements. One of those is that we not be required to do a subsequent special use permit process, which is required in the TR district for multifamily housing, because we are going through this PUD. The thought process behind that is we are going through this PUD process where we're presenting to the council more detailed plans, and so instead of having to come back again, we would get the approval with this more detailed zoning. And then the other deviation is there's a requirement in the code that multifamily housing be at least 500 feet apart. My understanding is that may be more geared towards like downtown, and this is not in downtown, obviously, but it is next to other multifamily housing, and we do believe it's an appropriate location for this housing type in the town. So, and I'll just mention part of this PUD process and what's required is a preliminary public utilities design. This map is just a map of all the public utilities in the area. This is a developed part of the town, as we all know. So there are Selma water lines in the area, Johnston County water lines in the area, sewer in the area, and the intent is that this would be served by the town of Selma. We started those preliminary discussions about the routing of public utilities to the project with your staff. We had a meeting with Mr. McDaniel and Taylor just this afternoon about it. And so we would be continuing those conversations through the site plan process, and that the project couldn't go forward until we figured that out and get staff approval for the public utilities routing. And so we also included in the plan renderings of the project to better show that proposal in 3D. Already started on the design of what the buildings would look like. And so I'm going to hand it over to Alex to introduce himself and the project and the vision for the project.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your time. Alex Frazier, I'm with TWG Development, business address 1301 East Washington, Indianapolis, Indiana. I'll give you a quick rundown of the project from my side, and then I'll show you some pretty pictures and be done. So from a high level, this project is funded through the North Carolina Housing Tax Credit Program. Now what that means is in lieu of receiving funding, we have to set our rents at 60% of the area median income. And that area median income is collected across 3 counties, Johnston, Wake, and Franklin. So in this case, if you earn up to $57,000 a year, and that's one person, not a family, you qualify to live in this location. Now, I should be clear, this is not a public housing or Section 8, something like this. This is not rent restricted, but rather it's income restricted. So up to that $57,000 a year, you would qualify to live in this location. You know, some of the amenities at this site include, but are not limited to, clubhouse, gym, playground, and gas grills on site. You know, it's a beautiful 3-story walk-up. These renderings are done by a group out of Denver. They do most of our projects. We've done projects across 22 states, all over the place, you know, and we're ranked as a top developer in the nation every year. Excited to hopefully work in this community and see what can come of this. I think we could do a really good job and have a good project working with y'all. So.
Sorry, one last slide. So I wanted to kind of close on and talk about the Selma's future land use plan, which was approved just 4 years ago. The goals and objectives of the land use plan. So there's many goals and objectives related to housing, providing enough housing, diverse housing types in the community for different income levels and lifestyles. Housing is needed to support the businesses and industries in the town, and the comprehensive plan discusses how the majority of residents, at least this was 4 years ago, who rent in Selma are cost burden, meaning they're paying more than a third of their monthly income on housing. So as Selma grows, as the demand for housing and the cost of housing in the market naturally increases near Eastville Crossing and other jobs and businesses, the housing will remain affordable for working residents, teachers, government workers, firefighters, store managers, mechanics, etc., and for their families, and it will have the same, you know, finishes and built to look just like any other apartment complex. And so, and because this type of denser housing is needed and it is called for specifically in the comprehensive plan in this area, the Waterbury, this rezoning request, this PUD received a unanimous recommendation for approval from the planning board when we discussed this with them several months ago. And we think it's a great project for the town, and will provide housing that's needed to fill the demand this year and coming in the future. And so, again, we've got a great team, and we're here to answer questions or discuss any aspects of the rezoning request with you tonight. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Council, did you have any questions off the jump? Utilities.
Give me one extra.
Anybody else before I get into mine? Mr. Champion, if you would, we'll get your microphone and we'll get your name and address for the record for this public hearing as well.
My name is Perry Champion. I live at 518 West Elizabeth Street, Selma, North Carolina. I got 2 points here. Project looks great, except for one thing. It's 3 stories. So that's knocking most of the people who are disabled right out of the ballpark. Okay. What have y'all done to look at the ADA requirements?
So by building code, I believe you have to have at least 5, it might be 10 in North Carolina %. Oh, sure. So by building code, I believe it has to be at minimum 5, potentially 10% of the units in the state of North Carolina. I'm not sure that number. I know it's minimum 5 in the other states we've worked in, that those units need to be ADA accessible, and those are all on the first floor. And that's just per the building code. We have to adhere to that anyway to accommodate for ADA.
Another question. My other question was the choice of counties that y'all chose for the medium income. Wake being a million population county is nowhere near what Johnson County is. Okay? Franklin doesn't even border Johnson County. The three counties other but that border is Harnett, Wilson, and Wake. Wayne, excuse me. So why didn't y'all look at those as medium income?
The income levels are set by HUD. They have data, income data. That's the Housing and Urban Development Agency for the federal government. So they set those rates, and that's what the income, as Alex was discussing, income capped the units have to be set at. So I know it's Wake, Johnson, and I can't remember the other Franklin County. Again, it's set by HUD. It's not something that we chose.
Come on up. Name and address for the record.
Darwin Talbot, 302 West Watson. Was there a study done on the impact of traffic in the area with this new facility? Kids going to school, more cars in and out of the area?
So we've had initial discussion. I'm sorry. Josh Scanlon, Gateway Engineers, 101 South Rayford Street. We've had initial discussions with NCDOT on this project. We've reviewed preliminary trip generations with them, and they don't anticipate the need for a traffic study. Given the current volume of Outlet Center Drive, it doesn't warrant a larger study. We'll have to coordinate with the DOT on getting highway occupancy permits, and it's likely that they're going to require a turn lane for the project as well. So that'll be all through the final design phase where we work through that.
Any other questions? Come on up. Name and address for the record.
Mike Gherkin, 802 West Walnut Street, Savannah, North Carolina. I got a question, listening to these folks talking at the beginning. I may be wrong, I may heard it wrong, but didn't they say that HUD didn't have anything to do with the way these houses are being rented out or sold out? Thought I heard one of them say something about the HUD. Now they're saying that it's based on what HUD says in these three counties they're talking about. Just want to know if there's a clarification on that or not.
It's not, HUD studies the income of the area and compiles the data about the income level, but it's not funded by HUD, if that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
So for the requirements that go along with the development, you must get the data from HUD.
Correct.
But
yes.
HUD does not provide any type of financial assistance to the project?
That's right.
Correct.
Yes. Right.
So
HUD is who compiles all of this data.
Anybody else in the audience? So I do need some clarification as far as utilities are concerned. This is all expected to be Town of Selma utility?
So as far as our discussions at this point, Duke Energy, not Selma for power. Sewer would be a Selma customer. Water is up in the air. There's an option for county water. There's a future option for Selma water. But at the current time, Selma cannot provide the water that they need in that area. We have plenty of water. We just don't have what their need, 3 stories, 5 buildings. They have presented a option for Johnson County to provide the water, which is acceptable from staff. It's not our decision, but they can't provide water from the backside of that property.
If I may, we have started these discussions. When he says a Selma plan, there's a plan to connect from the line. I wish I had a pointer. The line that's to the north of Highway 70. That is Selma's line. There's easements in place for a new water line to come you know, and connect right in front of this property. And so what we'd like to continue the discussion on through the site plan process is working on an option to get that line over to us on our timeline. I know the town is already, as Chief McDaniel mentioned, already working on that, but we might be able to help expedite it.
Well, let me add, and again, as far as my comment to this, as we are right now as a county stumbling through utilities, stumbling through providing water, stumbling through providing sewer, what I'm hearing is we're not 100% sure how all of this is going to work out with the utilities for this development. Is that what I'm to understand? Or do we know what we're doing?
When it comes to water, staff cannot confidently say that there's a plan from the town of Selma that we could provide anything at this time. They have provided a site for getting water from the county that if that works out, staff does not have an objection for. We do not know what the county may say to that proposal on our end.
Any other questions? Is there any other comment, questions from the audience? Any other comments related to this public hearing at all, staff side? With that, do I have a motion to close this public hearing related to this proposed project at Outlet Center Drive?
So moved.
Second.
Give that second to Councilman Overby. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Chip, what do you need from us?
Mayor, at this point, I believe it's all legislative, so I think it's within your debate, discussion, vote, up or down. Approve, deny, or approve with conditions.
Looking at the tenor in the room,
We do, if y'all do want us to commit to a condition on the public utilities, you know, making sure that that is all approved by the county or the town, prior to construction drawing approval, just to give everybody some comfort on that, we are more than willing to or continue those discussions and come back.
thank you for that. Again, with that, first and foremost, do I have a motion to deny the zoning change for this piece of property?
That's how we deny it.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second? Motion fails for lack of a second. So do I have a motion to approve this? In fact, if we do motion to approve, we need to approve with conditions, I was.
And articulate the conditions, Mayor, that is correct, sir.
So with that, does anybody want to polish through the conditions that they're thinking of in their heads before we provide a full motion?
I feel more comfortable knowing where your water's coming from. 'Cause I know we've got issues on both sides.
So I would say that with that, if we are comfortable with, again, the utility side, it's going to be a real interesting piece to tie them into conditions and approve this rezoning. So again, in my mind, at this rate, we need to be careful about approving a rezoning because that'll send us downhill to having to jump through a lot of hoops to figure out other things. If we aren't confident with the utilities piece.
Mayor, if I may, council staff recommendation would be to table, to come back with that information before you approve or deny. Staff recommendation would not be to approve without knowing that information or deny without knowing that information, but you can table this, require that be brought back in front of you, and then make an informed decision.
I've got a a list just rolling through my brain.
I'd suggest.
So, yeah, I make the move, we just table.
Oh, no, I was just saying this, it's a legislative process, so if you have questions, just reach out, we can talk through that. It's not class action judicial, so we are able to have this conversation.
Right, absolutely. And with that, we have a motion to table this, vote. Do you have a second? Second from Mayor Pro Tem Joe Scarborough. Any discussion?
Date and time, table 2.
So discussion wise, when is the next time we can approach this? Okay. So with that, in addition to that motion, if you don't mind, Councilman Overby, to table this vote on this closed public hearing until November 11, 2025 at our 6 p.m. regular council meeting 2.
I agree.
All right, and we've got that second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna table this thing, make sure we have all the right information. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. Moving right along. Got another public hearing to take a look at. So before you get rolling, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing for this.
Mayor, this was Quasi.
This is Quasi?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Champion, we can't have conversation in the back right now. We've got business to take care of, sir. Thank you. All right, so we've got a quasi judicial hearing related to 2025-249-250 SUP Plat 212 West Griswold Street. Do I have a motion to open a quasi judicial hearing related to that plat?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir.
Give me to go ahead and swear in.
Yeah.
We've got,
Should I get the other people too?
that's what we're gonna do it all. Anybody's gonna testify. What we'll do, go ahead and ceremoniously raise your right hand. And what we'll do is let me under oath. Any evidence, testimony that you would give to the town will be the truth. Nothing but the truth, so God, you can swear or to that. Everybody, raise your hand is under oath. Thank you.
Taylor Graham, 84 Centerline Drive, Selma, North Carolina. I have before you town council approval for a major subdivision preliminary plat and accompanying special use permit. The applicant here is Homes by Michael Ford LLC. They are also the property owner of this project at 212 West Griswold Street. I have a few different sizes of the acreage, 1.03 and 1.02 that Mr. Overby pointed out during the request for public hearing, and I have provided a statement in my staff report for that discrepancy. It's a rounding difference between surveys. So shown here is the duplexes. It's 4 duplexes, so 8 total dwelling units, and it is a TR zone, so this is use by right. And on a staff level, this can occur given code compliance, which it is complying. The purpose behind it becoming to council is the major subdivision process is triggered by their want to individually deed the duplexes, which is a decision from the applicant so that the duplexes are more equitable starter homes rather than landlord rentals. So they're looking to individually deed these lots. I also have questions that the planning board had about HOA, so I provided the answers from the minutes on there. And we also received one written comment from 401 Debnam Drive, Patrice Everett, via email, and she opposed the project. But yeah. And then staff comments. Staff believes this proposal is consistent with the Town of Selma UDO and Comprehensive Land Use Plan because of its individual deeding. And then I asked the council to consider the following motions: a motion to accept all testimony and evidence into record, a motion to approve the findings of fact, a motion to approve or deny, a motion to authorize the presiding officer to sign the final order. I also ask that my staff report and supporting document be entered into evidence as testimony. If you have any questions, let me know, or the applicant.
For the record, so received.
Mhm.
Any questions, council to staff? All right, and
Okay.
turn it over to the applicant in whatever order you want to proceed.
They said they didn't have anything.
Don't
Unless-
have anything, nothing from the applicant?
Unless we have any questions. It's pretty straightforward.
I'll be honest with you, we've seen this multiple times now, and we very much appreciate you willing to make adjustments to the plan going forward. We've actually been well versed on this project. Listened to our concerns and you've adjusted accordingly, so I can't say anything more than that.
One request for the record, Mayor, thank you. Just from the applicant, anyone who would say this, do you have any supplemental evidence, anything, documents, anything you want to present, or just rely upon what council has at this point? All right, and sir, your name is?
Dave Bartone with Bowman Engineering, and we've got all the information we need in our hands.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'm sorry you're not sworn.
I don't understand what you're asking. I'm right side. So I want to know what you want to know from me.
So with that being said, ma'am, this is a quasi judicial hearing, so the only type of information that we can accept into this hearing is from professionals or technically versed folks about the project. It isn't anything where we can get any type of. Yes, we can't get any type of opinion or anything. And the applicant's like, let her speak. No, but we can't accept any type of opinion, but we do appreciate you being here. All right. Do we need anything else as part of this?
I think at this point, Mayor, we will rely upon the record presented, no supplemental documents or information. So at that point, I think it's appropriate to close the public hearing, and we look upon the 4 findings of fact that are required.
Do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to 212 West Grizz Falls?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and Chip, what do we need?
Yes, sir. And this is again under the ordinance, the standard SUP 17-610, the 4 findings of fact. We'll do them individually. We have to approve all 4. The first will be that the development will not endanger the public health or safety.
Do you have a motion that we agree with that finding of fact?
So moved.
Second.
Get that second. Councilwoman? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, finding of fact 2, the development will not substantially injure the value of adjoining or abutting property. That's the second one.
Yes. Do I have a motion that says we agree with that finding of fact?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Right, let me get this thing moved. Finding of fact 3, Mayor, the development will be in harmony with the area in which it is located.
Do I have a motion that says we agree with that finding of fact?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion there? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, the finding of fact 4, the development will be in general conformity with the future land use plan, thoroughfare plan, or other plan specifically approved by the town council.
Do I have a motion that we agree with that finding?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, and that all 4 findings of fact have been approved, I'd recommend a motion on the record that the SUP be granted in its entirety.
Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion further? All those in favor?
Aye.
You need anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for working with the town of Selma. Very much appreciate you. Let's do that. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second. Way to cross those T's and dot those I's. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna get that order signed. Thank you very much. Seriously, you folks have worked really hard to work with us on this, and we do appreciate everybody who comes to work with the town of Selma. Thank you. All right. What do we have next? Do we have another public hearing?
Yes.
Exciting. Ms. Faison is here. Come on up. I'm sorry. We'll work on that next time. We'll make some notes. So sorry.
Okay. So my name is Michelle Faison. I am with Withers Ravenel, at 115 McKinnon Drive in Cary, North Carolina. I am the contracted grants manager for the CDBGI grants.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, what do we have before us today?
Today, the purpose of the public hearing today is to discuss the program accomplishments and the performance for the project, so that we can close this one out for you all. And also allow residents an opportunity to express their views for the fiscal year 15 and 20 community development block grants for the infrastructure project. That is for CDBGI grant numbers 15I3166 and 20I3616.
So with that, do I have a motion to open the public hearing related to the CDBGI program closeout?
So moved.
Second to Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We got a public hearing open. Any more information as part of the public hearing?
Yes, sir. I'll just go through the script. This is all mandatory that we have to close it out this way, so I apologize for, I'll try to be as short-winded as possible. In April of 2021, the town of Selma did receive a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD grant, CDBGI, from the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, and the Division of Water Infrastructure, DWI. 2 grants were awarded at that time. One was for planning and one was for construction. The town did execute both of those contracts in September of 2021. The project was to improve local, public, and environmental health by providing rehabilitation of both aged and deteriorated sewer line, rehabilitation of manholes, replacement of sewer service reconnections, and replacement of sewer laterals in the areas of East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way, South Sharp Street, South Rayford Street, South Webb Street, and East Preston Street. These were in residential areas with primarily low and moderate income LMI persons, and no new proposed sewer connections did occur for these projects. I'm just going to go over briefly the planning project. Again, that was 15I3166. And the planning grant activities included both grant administration, release of conditions and funds, the preliminary engineering reports, and all compliance plans for the fiscal year 15 grant, as well as the fiscal year 20 grant. No changes occurred with the planning project. The planning grant was $116,460, and that was fully expended. No local funds contributed to that planning grant. The area-wide LMI was 94.44%, with a total of 133 persons benefiting. A combination of both the town administrative staff and public works staff did provide oversight of all the contracted parties required to complete this project. The town has not received any complaints or requests for assistance regarding the CDBG grants. The activities completed for the planning grant included attendance at required compliance and environmentals in spring of 2021, submittal of funding approval conditions, council adoption of finance forms, project ordinance, and compliance plans. Completion of the preliminary engineering report, council adoption assessment of fair housing, completion of the environmental analysis, which included required public notices, completion of semi-annual labor reports, quarterly and annual reports were required. And then we'll move on to the construction project, which is the most recent one that you all have been involved in. Project scope.
The CDBG funds allowed the town to provide essential sewer system improvements to residential areas as discussed. The proposed activities presented in the grant application did differ from the final completed activities due to scope amendments and the final quantities that were installed. So the original approved project scope included the following major activities: to rehabilitate, replace approximately 6,505 linear feet of deteriorated aged sewer line, and rehabilitation of approximately 33 manholes in the areas of East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., South Pollock, East and West Preston, South Sellers, South Sharp, South Webb, East and West Noble, East and West Watson, East Railroad, South Rayford, and West Jones Street. Construction-based bidding included rehabilitation and replacement of approximately 6,020 linear feet of sewer line, with 5 bid alternates required within the original project area. This one was a long one. We did have 4 rounds of advertising for the construction bids, and the project scope had to be negotiated with the lowest responsible bidder. So due to the bid prices that were received, the amendment project construction scope at construction contract award had to be reduced down to rehabilitation of approximately 1,817 linear feet of 8 to 10 inch diameter sewer line, rehabilitation of approximately 8 manholes, replacement of approximately 48 sewer service reconnections, and approximately 1,680 4-inch sewer laterals in the areas of East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way, South Sharp Street, South Rayford Street, South Webb Street, and East Preston. The final project scope, which is what we have fully delivered on, did include rehabilitation of approximately 1,817 linear feet of 8 to 10 inch diameter sewer line, rehabilitation of 8 manholes, rehabilitation of 7 sewer connections, and replacement of 571.5 linear feet of 4-inch sewer laterals in the areas of East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way, South Sharp Street, South Rayford Street, South Webb Street, and East Preston Street. The project area is completed in the same project area as the amended scope when the construction contract was signed. And the reduction in quantities is primarily due to the reductions in asphalt patching and sewer laterals that were provided. As I stated earlier, project activities did take place in primarily low and moderate income residential areas, providing an area-wide benefit to LMI persons. And the project area has a population that is at least 51% LMI, so therefore 100% of your CDBG funds were utilized to benefit those LMI persons. There were only 3 change orders to the project that were approved during the course of construction. The total CDBGI grant was $1,883,349. Some local funds did contribute to the grant based on the maximum allowable amounts for the administrative cost. While some funds do remain, eligible CDBGI activities were maximized with this project, and exhausting all remaining funds would require new bidding documents, new construction bidding, procurement, and contracting, additional public hearings, additional extension requests, and commitment of more town funds to pay for those additional engineering and grant administration costs. Considering the economic landscape and extensive compliance requirements, there's just not enough time, unfortunately, prior to the 7-year national deadline to construct additional work. Because not all sewer funds were used, administrative funds also had to be deobligated. A total of $848,527.07 is unexpended, in unexpended funds is being deobligated. This project, I'm not going to reread that because I've already read that to you guys about where the LMI, and it does help 133 people, excuse me, with LMI benefit of 94.44%. Construction project compliance and performance, again, a combination of town administrative staff and the elected officials did provide oversight of all contracted parties required to complete this project. The town has not received any complaints, And I have to repeat this for the 20 grant, so sorry about that. But the town has not received any complaints or requests for assistance regarding this CDBG grant. The town conducted quarterly community outreach activities to affirmatively further fair housing, to maintain compliance with the Fair Housing Plan and assessment of fair housing. Such activities did include the distribution of fair housing info to public places, housing-related entities, newspaper advertisements, attendance at trainings, and outreach via community-wide mailings and the town's website. While the town did not accomplish the full intent and extent of the project, what was completed successfully. The project was monitored twice by the state. Most recently in April of 2025, I did come in for that one, and we did address any findings. So while there've been a few bumps in the road, basically due to extensions and largely attributed to construction bidding challenges as we had the 4 rounds, this project generally remained in compliance with the required federal regulations associated with the funding. There is going to be a citizen comment period that was put in the newspaper advertisement. If you need additional information on that, please submit your written request to Town Manager Alexis or Town Clerk Dalton to get that information. The comments do have to be postmarked no later than October 17th, and a written response will be made within 10 business days. The public grant documents are also available at Town Hall upon request between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And I have to read this. The town does not discriminate based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, handicap, age, familial status in the admission, access to, treatment, or employment in the CDBG program and activities. Efforts will be made to minimize displacement during project implementation and applicable utility easements, and displacement assistance as necessary will be available. Persons with disabilities, limited English proficiency, or who otherwise require special accommodations should contact the town, and we have those numbers here. I'm sure you guys will have those. So I just want to thank you all for letting us participate in the CDBG project.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to comment as part of this public hearing related to this project closeout? This has been a lot of work. Planning in 2015, work on the ground in 2020, closing it out 2025. It's a reminder of how much goes into not only the building of infrastructure, but the repair and rehab of infrastructure. Thank you for your patience with us. Thank you for sitting through all these other public hearings that you have seen here in the town of Selma.
I would like to thank everyone for their time and efforts in this project and the time that I've worked with Mr. McDaniel and most recently Ms. Carter. It's been wonderful.
If staff could, I think it's really important that we work with amazing outside agencies, that we recognize them publicly. And Withers Ravenel has been a pleasure to deal with since I came aboard. I know Philip has had many dealings and has had the same remarks, and Michelle specifically has been amazing, so we thank you. And even though she has gone on in another role, she continues to answer all of my grant administration questions, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also,
Thank you all.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other public comment part of this hearing? With that, do I have a motion to close this public hearing related to this CDBGI project closeout?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
too.
Business items, gateway signage. Who's got that one?
Good evening, council.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
If you'll refer in your packet to page 151, 152, 153, what we're asking tonight is, I mean, if you want to, that's completely up to you, is for feedback on the gateway signage. Just to give you a little history, remind you, we have 2 signs budgeted in the current year. But we do want to get a sign design approved by council, and this would be the marquee for the standard for going forward. There's about 5 that are in the big grant plan that we eventually want to get in the different parts of town. So, if you like something that you see, let us know. If you have notes to send back to the designer, that's what we're looking for tonight. We did tell them, hey, look, we're looking for, you got this, you could put up to, y'all can see. We were looking for something, crossroads, tradition, and innovation. And we're known for our I-95 and our railroad tracks. So the second one, I believe the one on 152, that was their 3-point shot at that. Road on top and, tracks over to the side. So, but we'd appreciate your feedback so we can get moving on that.
That was the first one that caught my eye.
Yeah, I believe I'm gonna call that number 2. I think that's on page 152. I can tell from there. 153.
I'm so happy to see them.
52 and 53 are very similar. I think just what's the railroad tracks deals, the only difference.
And this isn't a public.
Y'all have one page difference. I didn't wear that. I'm sorry.
Okay, this isn't a public hearing, but I will open up the floor for public comment on this as well. This is something that we're all going to see coming in and out of our town on a regular basis. So this is the time if you have some thoughts, briefly share. Which one do we like, council? What type of adjustments would we like to make? Do we hate them all?
I like number 3.
So how many we got? How many we got?
3.
3?
3 signs right now.
Yeah, no, but how many entries we're gonna put on?
I believe 5
5.
total? Was it 5 total that we were looking at?
5 total with 2 funded in the current year.
Yeah, five
Yes, sir.
total, 2 funded.
Two of them are on Buffalo Road. And obviously, y'all know what's about to happen on Buffalo Road. We're definitely gonna let that project doing, so that might be 3-ish years out. But, with 70 coming up and catch me eye, both ends of Pollock. Or trying to remember off the spur of my head, but the 2 that we had funded for, that were in the budget for the fiscal year this year, tourism funds were on Pollock.
Are we looking at one toward the Eastfield area?
That might be it.
70 as well?
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was the field. Yes, sir.
Are you trying to stay uniform with just one across town, or can you mix it
Yeah,
up?
we would like, we had talked about the possibility, maybe next phase of a smaller in certain areas, say like Anderson Street, you would want the monster like you would
Right.
want an interstate type deal. But, uniform design, sort of like a gateway, that you're gonna see downtown in a little while. It's gonna be just like, not your gateway. Your wayfinding, I'll get it backwards. Your wayfinding is, the design's there, but it can be shrunk or smaller, so it'll be the same, yes, sir.
Okay.
I like the first one for the symmetry. And the second one just kind of caught my eye.
It'd be very simple for the first one to have the features of the second one, as far as the lines.
I see a head nod back there.
Yeah, I second call.
So do we think, do a similar lining on that welcome to on the first one? And then put the metal bars across that first one as well for the tracks? The first one? So the first one, we're talking about putting the bluish lines on the road. And then putting the metal bars across the wood for tracks.
I will say, the tracks that they have there make a little bit of sense to me with our wayfinding signs, because we've got those same bars as the risers.
Right.
More symmetry.
Council, other thoughts?
I like the one on the screen now, like I said, it's got with the tracks at the top, make the tracks and just one set of tracks. instead of
No, 2.
No, I like
And I like the stonework
Yeah, that.
too, the stone.
So We're leaning more toward number two.
Number two.
Number two, number two, number two.
Just as is.
Number two as is, any adjustments, anything we want to tweak?
Can we ask the audience?
Public?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Two,
Two.
two.
What I was, you said one set, two sets of tracks together, run side by side. Selma's known for being crossroads, the railroad. On the east, west, and north and south.
Mhm.
And with the addition of Interstate 42 on this road, we're gonna be at crossroads and interstates.
It might get hairy trying to capture all of that on the sign. But, is there any thoughts on anything you might add to where we're leaning toward number two here? I'm all about that.
Yeah.
We got a full crowd of center it. So center the words, all right.
So to make sure I'm clear, second one, center Selma, just like you said.
Yeah.
Do we have any thoughts about any additions to the second one beyond centering Selma? Cool. Sounds like we got some consensus. Let's center Selma, bring us back what it looks like, and
Bring it to you.
just to
Next
maybe,
time you meet.
yeah, maybe next time we meet, we have we're probably gonna end up calling a special meeting here in October again anyway. So to get back to meeting one, so we'll look to have that. Sound good? Is that a go forth, council?
Good with
Thank
me.
y'all.
Cool. All right. Merriman Drive property review.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Before you, there are two properties on Merriman Drive where staff is requesting approval to waive a total of $600 in application fees for each property to voluntarily annex into the town's corporate limits. For about 10 years and maybe even longer, both 205 and 207 Merriman Drive have been receiving in-town rates and services while being considered extraterritorial jurisdiction or ETJ properties. Meaning these ETJ properties have been receiving the same amenities and services as all in-town residents. This has been described as a hole in the town's corporate limits map since 2016 per Johnston County. And this should have been caught long ago, and due to this being at no fault of the property owner and or current town staff, we brought this request before you all to allow the property owners to retain the current rates and services they have been receiving without the $300 annexation fee. Doing so will ensure the neighborhood and community are consistently enforced and are all in unison with the same standards set forth within the town's corporate limits. And I am here if you guys have any additional questions.
It's my understanding this was come across because of code enforcement.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Do I have a motion to approve the waiving of annexation fees for the two properties on Merriman Drive?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Fee schedule updates.
This can get confusing, and I apologize. System development fees, completely different, no, excuse me. System development fees and sewer capacity fees are two different things. Everybody gets confused on that, and I'm not trying to say you are, but I just want to make sure that we know which one we're talking about. A sewer capacity fee, which is what we're talking about tonight, is a brand new property that is buying capacity.
We're talking about system development fees tonight.
Oh, no. Sewer capacity fees.
But we're making a change to the system development fee schedule.
That's the section of the fee.
Yes, to make that clear in the
Okay,
confusion.
so the page you're looking at, it says system development fees. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
If I confuse you further.
It's all right. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so the bottom, if you look on page 160, I think, maybe you're on 161. the square at the bottom of that spot that's stricken out. And then there's a red section that's been added. That's what we're looking at. So a sewer capacity fee is when a new blank piece of land or occupied piece of land is asking for new sewer capacity or to add additional. So if someone bought my property, tore it down and built a duplex, that would double the capacity that their needs. So they would need to pay for the capacity that were rescinded, which is in Johnston County. This is a complete pass-through. Johnston County sets these fees. We just have to need it in our fee schedule to be able to charge it straight to that developer. Okay, so currently it is $10.68 per gallon per day, and we're asking for it to go to 11.01, and that is exactly what the county is charging us. There's no upcharge.
Very cool.
So I think Dalton worked on the language, what was there versus what is here now with the general statute, and gives the authority to do that.
Questions?
Yeah, so is this on new stuff?
No, we've been doing this for years at 1068.
Right.
Well, at whatever rate the county charges, but we adjust it as they increase. So this is just better wording, so we don't have to come to you every time. This just says we're charged what Johnston County charges.
At this rate, we're realizing that Johnston County and everybody all across is having to adjust their rates so regularly that we don't want to have to come and have a meeting every time that ticks up with Johnston County's past.
Mr. Over, did I understand your question? I think I missed it.
Yeah, you missed one.
You're asking me, is this only for new?
For new.
Yes, sir. This does not affect any citizen that is currently in Selma. This is, say that y'all passed this, what y'all talked about tonight. That's a prime example.
Right.
They would have a large capacity fee. We have allocation that the county has said, you can use this, but you gotta buy it, right? So that is a prime example, a new development. The only time a citizen, an existing citizen, would be charged anything like this if they were adding on capacity to a house. If I wanted to build a second story on my house with 3 new bathrooms, there's new capacity there.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, and to also clarify further, if we're talking about an empty lot in the town limits of Selma already, generally it already has capacity allocated to it. So if you're building a house on an empty lot in the center of the town, odds are you won't be paying a system development fee.
Yeah, Mr. Ford's property that was here earlier, there's a small amount there. He's gonna add, for the pool.
Yeah.
There was a small bathroom there, so that's probably one of his houses. But as he's adding now 8 to that property, he's gonna have a system development fee.
Okay.
Right. Good questions.
Thanks. Well, I think we, been taxed enough.
Yes, sir. But, the good thing about this one, the citizens don't pay for new development. That's why the system development fee's there for infrastructure. This is for capacity.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt this update and amendment to the Town of Selma fee schedule related to system development fees?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Oh, that brings us to council members' report and recommendations. We'll start down on the end with Councilman Overby and we'll come around.
All right, thank you. I just, like to just get an update on where we at with what's going on in Breck Wilson. How long is it gonna be before we actually complete that or what they got going?
So, do we have that information handy?
I would prefer to follow up and give you exacts.
That's fine.
But we can give you a ball game pretty quick. But remember, there is a second project coming shortly, is with the well that's up in the park. So it's not just the big hole.
Let's do this. Let's give both information, the current project and then the long scope as well.
And you're looking at time frame for it.
Yeah, that's,
I'd rather give you that exact.
and that's fair. I'll watch for it the next council meeting. That's it, I'm good.
I just wanted to thank staff for everything they do for us. We've had a couple of ribbon cutting ceremonies. We've had railroad days, and staff has worked extremely hard to make things successful. The vendors were great. They were out there working hard. The carnival, the fire department, the police department, staff has really worked hard to make our town very successful. I'm hoping that our railroad days can get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'd hate to see us stall there. But I do appreciate it, and thank y'all for coming.
Thank you, Councilman Watson. Mayor Pro Tem Joe Scarborough.
First, I said, thank everybody for coming out tonight. And, I got a few words I would say. The last council meeting, I was sitting in this chair as a citizen started to speak during open forum, citizen request. And I set up better to listen to what was being said, not because of the message, but of the messenger. Do you know how someone can tell if this town is dying? But let me tell you what the economists say. If there isn't any soil being turned over, the town is dying. Prior to this council, the only soil being turned over was at 7 Memorial Garden. I can understand a citizen not having the opportunity and chance to do anything about the situation. But when someone had both the opportunity and chance for years and did neither, my question to them is, was it because they were unwilling to do the work required? Hoping and wishing and just talking about it doesn't make it happen. Just do the work. So the 2022 Town Council began the task of really making Selma truly the crossroad of tradition and innovation. There are naysayers, billboards, social media posting, wanting you to believe that Selma is stagnant or on decline. I say to you, in spite of all the signs, how long will they refuse to believe Selma is moving forward? Just do the work, and you'll get these results. Eastfield Crossing, Hobby Lobby, Eastfield Crossing, Academy Sports, Eastfield Crossing, Olive Garden, BJ Warehouse, Chase Bank, and many more. Old North State Food Court, got 10 different space in there for vendors. Downtown Selma here, Southern Bostonia, Old Fashioned Ice Cream, On Beat Drum Ministry, Coffee on Rayford, Pixie Dust, Hometown Realty, Harlan Toad, to name a few. Streets being paved, infrastructure being upgraded after years of neglect. And for the first time in over 20 years, we construct a brand new building, which is Public Works. There was a story on TV back in the day called Dallas. And the main guy was JR and Sue Ellen, husband and wife. So JR was, I always had stuff told about JR here and there. So Sue Ellen kept listening to people telling everybody, you know, your husband this, your husband that. So she said, I'm gonna sit down and see for myself just what's going on. So she went out, got her information. JR came home that night. JR, I know what you've been doing, cause I looked around and I saw with my own eyes. Just like JR, the naysayers, billboards, social media, his response was to Sue Ellen was, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? So my question to all of those in this building and those watching online, who are you going to believe? Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem. Got it. Mr. Dalton, thank you very much. Of things we need to mention. So upcoming spooktacular. Downtown Activate Selma is doing a spooktacular on October 31st. What time does that start? 5? Starts at 5 in downtown Selma. right before we close up the town hall and finance building, we'll have candy in there as well as folks are coming out to the Spooktacular in downtown Selma on October 31st from 4 to 5. We'll have candy available for that as well. So remember, Activate Selma, downtown Selma businesses are putting on a Spooktacular from 5, starting at 5 on October 31st, and the town of Selma will have some candy for you as we close up from 4 to 5 if you get there before the Spooktacular in downtown starts. We do have an open forum coming up on Saturday, November 8th, 2025 at 1 p.m. in this building, Jernigan Building, open forum. So that's a little more conversational meeting so that people can share their thoughts, concerns, ideas. Saturday, November 8th, 2025, 1 p.m. Of course, we do have advisory board vacancies that we would love to see our citizens fill. Please see Mr. Dalton Larson Batten, our clerk, about applying for an advisory board. Beautification awards are coming back. I think we squared that away. Was that last meeting? Rock and roll. In-town and ETJ residents are available or eligible to win beautification awards. Winners will be announced every quarter. First one will be announced in November 17th, 2025 at the Town of Selma Parents Commission meeting. All winners will receive a plaque, a temporary yard sign, and be featured in the town's newsletter. So we are bringing that back. We did have a hiatus from that for a little while. And residential and commercial properties are eligible for that beautification award. Special meeting date. We had to cancel meeting 1 because we had everybody sick in the town of Selma. We do need to reschedule that. I would hope to try to reschedule that before the end of this month. Any dates that are absolute no-go for anybody first of all?
I don't have my calendar.
Oh, so do we need to, what we'll do is we'll email, get emails to Dalton about what dates are available. We will shoot for, do we want to shoot for a Thursday? Thursday? So what we'll do is we'll look at the Thursdays we have on the calendar, shoot the dates to Dalton, that particularly a Thursday you're available before the end of the month, and we'll get that scheduled. We'll make sure we have the appropriate notice put out at least 48 hours before the new meeting day, but we hope to do it well before that. Well before that. Excuse me. We are seeing change around Selma, and we really are doing the work. There's opportunities left and right to make sure everybody's individual voice is being heard. Here in this room, you can stop any of us pretty much on the street these days and share. We've got a staff that I know listens quite a bit. Let's be honest, we're doing better. We're doing better than what we were doing 8 years ago, that's for sure. I moved here. And I know what I saw. I believe my eyes. Economic development. We're approaching it by maintaining a healthy balance of economic development while keeping our thumb off of free enterprise. We don't pick winners and losers. It's a good formula to make sure you have thriving free market business. Common sense moves that drive and improve the economic engine for all. Of course, we do have folks that want to investigate the millions of dollars that we've gotten over the last few years for water and sewer work. Not a hard investigation. Take a look outside. If you run over one of those rock-filled potholes, there's your money. It's right there in the ground. You see the surveyors, the spray paints, the vac trucks, the hoses, the heavy equipment. I got a call from somebody who was quite upset with some of the people turning the signs on River Road as they were stopping traffic while doing that work we're talking about. Extensive sewer and water upgrades happening over the last 6 years. Extensive. We are working on big things in Selma. Imagine visitors being able to kayak down the Neuse River hop off at the Selma Nature Preserve boat dock and explore the town for the day. We want our community to be able to walk, bike, and drive from any Selma neighborhood to all the recreation, shopping, and dining you could ever want in the town of Selma. We don't have to go down the street to find it. We don't have to visit Smithfield. We don't have to go to Goldsboro. We don't have to go to White Oak anymore. All that stuff is here. With this new economic development, with that tax revenue, with the new industry coming to Selma, we're going to be able to approach those big challenges, continue to approach those big challenges. Infrastructure challenges, cost of living challenges, higher wages for our young folks with higher paying jobs, which will boost that economic engine. All the challenges and opportunity we are excited for here in the town of Selma. We have had many years where nothing happened. And it is interesting to hear from the folks that have been here for many years when nothing happened, to pretend as if there's something wrong with what's happening. I appreciate the effort, but just walk outside. Look around, and you'll see. They have a sign that says Olive Garden in Eastfield right now. They have a sign that says Panda Express. That building looks cool, by the way. I'm sorry. That building looks cool. Culver's closed on their property. You know they're still coming. Anybody? No idea? We don't know? Things that are up in the air, but those are things that could be coming to Selma. Conversations that we're having on a regular basis about folks begging to build in Selma, North Carolina. We're going to keep going. We have something for closed session. We've got to go into closed session, so do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Back that back. We'll leave the motion and the second on the table. We did add a proclamation recognizing World Pancreatic Cancer Day. There was a question about how you do get a proclamation in front of us. We aren't shy about proclamations. You reach out to Dalton. We'll see if we can make it happen. If we get a pile, we'll explain to folks if we can't do them, but things like this are important to make sure everybody's aware. Whereas in 2025, an estimated 67,440 individuals in the United States will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and approximately 51,980 will lose their lives to this devastating disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer is currently the third leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States, surpassing breast cancer, and is projected to become the second by 2030. And whereas pancreatic cancer has the lowest 5-year relative survival rate for all major cancers, currently at just 13%, and remains the only major cancer with a 5-year survival rate below 20%. And whereas symptoms of pancreatic cancer often appear in late stages, resulting in only 15% of the cases being diagnosed when the disease is still localized, and more than 87% of those diagnosed die within 5 years. Whereas an estimated 1,910 deaths will occur in North Carolina due to pancreatic cancer in 2025. And whereas the health and well-being of the residents in Selma are enhanced through greater awareness, education, and research into early detection, risk factors, and effective treatments for pancreatic cancer. Now, therefore, I, Byron McAllister, Mayor of the town of Selma, do hereby proclaim November 20th, 2025 as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in Selma, and encourage all residents to learn more about this disease and support efforts toward finding a cure. Duly proclaimed, if council so chooses. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This 14th day of October 2025, here in the town of Selma. World Pancreatic Cancer Day. And we have a motion and a second on the table to go into closed session. Any discussion there? Thank you for the pause. All those in favor?
Aye.
Why are we going into closed session?
Mayor, two reasons. One, is number 3, to consult with the attorney about a matter of potential litigation. And there is one item, personnel under subsection 6, 3 and 6.
We're in closed session